Well, good morning. It's a snowy Wednesday. Can you believe it? We woke up to so much snow. I can't believe it. It's April. Well, you know what sometimes snowy days or rainy days are really good for? Cleaning your room. Raise your hand if your room is messy. I'm not raising my hand because my room is really clean. However, if Ellie was in the room right now, she might have to raise her hand because her room is a little bit messy. Just a little bit. So I'm wondering if maybe you have something you clean up. Or if your room is clean, is there something else that maybe you could help your mom and dad clean up today? Something to think about. Well, the reason I was thinking about that is because today's book is very specially picked out for my friend Camille. Hi, Camille. She requested a Berenstain Bears book, and guess what I had? Berenstain Bears and the Messy Room. Oh my goodness, let's see what happens with these bears in their messy room. Of course, by Stan and Jan Berenstain. From the outside, the bear's treehouse, which stood beside a sunny dirt road deep in bear country, looked very neat and well kept. That means clean. The flower beds sparkled with red, yellow, and blue tulips. The woodwork was freshly painted and in good repair. The grass was cut, and the vegetable patch was properly weeded. Even the bird's nest that perched on one of the tree house branches was well trimmed. So it sounds to me like they had everything ready. They were crisp, they were clean, they were tidy, all those different words meaning that they were nice and cleaned up, not messy, the opposite of messy. The inside of the bear's tree house was neat and clean too. The pictures were straight, the piano was dusted, the kitchen was spick and span. Even the basement was neat and clean. And if you think that that's easy to keep a treehouse basement neat and clean, well, you've never tried to do it. Oh, I think all basements are hard to keep neat and clean. Our basement is very hard to keep it neat and clean. Yes, the bear's treehouse was a lesson in neatness and cleanliness, except for one place. Brother Bear and Sister Bear's room. It was a mess. Can you see how these words are in all capital letters and there's these 3 periods in between? The big letters are like bold. That means that we need to say them differently. And these 3 little periods in between, that's called an ellipsis. That means you take a bigger space between those words when you say them, just like this. It was a mess. And there's exclamation points there. So that means we have to read it really loud with a lot of expression. A dust-catching, wall-to-wall, helter-skelter mess. Oh, yeah, and look, there's a lot of stuff all over. Oh, and Mama Bear does not look happy about that. A half-done jigsaw puzzle was gathered dust in one corner of the room. A group of Brother Bear's dinosaur models collected cobwebs in another. Sister stuffed animals were everywhere. As for the cub's big storage closet, well, just be careful how you open it. Whoa, look what happens when they open it. Whoosh, everything comes falling out. It wasn't that brother and sister were naturally messy. They tried to keep their room straight. Do you see how tried is in italics? That means like slanty letters. That's another way we say words differently. It means that word has extra meaning to it. They made their beds most of the time, and they swept and picked up once in a while. The trouble was that when cleanup time came, they spent more time arguing than cleaning. Does that happen in your house? How am I supposed to sweep with your silly dinosaur toys all over the floor? The book says a different word, but I don't like that word, so I changed it. They're not toys. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, they're not toys. They're models, and don't move them. I'm working on a setup of the Pliocene age, brother protested. That means he argued. Pliocene age! Pliocene schmiocene, shouted Sister. Not only was brother and sister's room a mess, but brother and sister were getting to be a mess too, always arguing about cleanup chores instead of sharing the job and working as a team. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound kind. Is that happening a little bit in your house? It is in mine sometimes, and then I have to step in and say, come on, everyone, let's be a team. What usually happened was that while the cubs argued about whose turn it was to do what, Mama took the broom and did the sweeping herself. And she often did the picking up too. That was the worst part, the picking up. And the putting away. Oh yeah, look at her face. She does not look happy about that. Well, the mess just seemed to build up until one day, maybe it was because Mama's back was a little stiff, or maybe it was stepping on Brother's airplane cement, or maybe that she was just fed up with that messy room. But whatever it was, Mama Bear lost her temper. Oh gosh, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? We all lose our temper sometimes. That means we all get angry and maybe yell or get a little unkind sometimes. It happens, it happens. Let's see what happened in the story. She stormed into the cub's room with a big box. Stormed means she walked really loud and stomped her feet angrily. Lots of vocabulary in this book. The first thing we have to do is get rid of all this junk, she said. Junk! Oh, look, it's big letters and italics, said brother and sister, watching in horror. That means they were like shocked. As Mama began to throw things into the box. My teddy isn't junk, screamed Sister. My bird's nest collection isn't junk, yelled brother at the top of his lungs. Oh boy, lots of mess, lots of mess. The screaming and yelling got so loud that it reached Papa, who was working in his workshop putting the finishing touches on a batch of chairs that had been ordered by one of his customers. He couldn't imagine what was wrong. He hurried up the stairs and looked into the messy, noisy room. It didn't take a deep thinker to figure out what was going on. Oh my, see these lines right here? That means they're being really loud and yelling, that the noise is really big. Quiet! Whoa, look at how big and bold that is, and those words and lines are shooting out of his mouth. Papa got Mama's and the cubs' attention and called a family meeting right there. Now, the mess has really built up in this room, he said. In fact, it's the worst case of messy buildup I've ever seen. And it isn't fair, he continued. It isn't fair to your mama and me because we have a lot of other things to take care of. And it isn't fair to you because you really can't have fun or relax in a room that's such a terrible mess. Oh, that's true. I have a really hard time relaxing or resting or even getting work done when there's just too much mess around. Even at school, it's hard to find things in your desk or on your table if it's messy, isn't it? Or how about your backpack? Isn't it really hard to find things if your backpack's a mess and there's papers and folders and everything all over? It's hard. And it makes for stress, and no one wants extra stress. But Mama is putting all my things into that box, even my teddy, said Sister. And my things too, cried Brother. Then Papa got an idea. A box. Yes, he said. Better yet, a lot of different kinds of boxes. A big toy box for your large toys. I can make one for you in my shop. And some smaller boxes for your collections and models. How about one of those boards with holes in it and pegs to hang things on? Asked Sister. A pegboard, said Papa. Great idea. All this room needs is a little organization. That sounds like a great solution to their problem, doesn't it? Just get a little bit organized. A little organization and a few rules, added Mama. Rules about more sweeping and less arguing and not leaving things to gather dust and cobwebs. That's pretty good too. Some rules are always good. We have some rules at school, right? And in our houses, we have to follow rules. They help keep us safe and healthy. Papa set to work making a fine big toy box and a large pegboard. While the cubs and Mama sorted out toys, books, games, and puzzles and put them into boxes that fit neatly into the closet. Every box was clearly labeled. Oh, that's a great idea. Some of the Cubs things did end up in Mama's big throwaway box. Not Sister's Teddy, of course, but some of Brother's bird nests, the ones that were crumbling and falling apart ones. It was a very big job cleaning up all that messy buildup, but after a lot of straightening up and putting away, the job was finally finished. Wow, said Brother, that was quite a job, but it was worth it. It looks like a whole new room, said Sister. The Cubs were right. Oh, look how nice it looks. Everything's all organized and hung up and cleaned up. Nothing on the floor. And Papa had been right too. It was so much more enjoyable to live in a neat, clean, well-organized room, and so much more relaxing. It wasn't as exciting to open the big storage closet now, but it was much more practical and a lot more fun. Oh, look at all those great labels on all those boxes. And look at Mama. She's like, I told you so, you silly bears. The messy room. Oh, goodness. You know, there's a lot of lessons in that book. A lot of things we learned, too, about bold and italics and big words, shouting out of people's mouths, out of the characters' mouths in the book. But the lesson is, too, about listening and following directions and being organized and keeping things cleaned up and tidy. I'm wondering if maybe you could tell me something you could do today that you could clean up. Maybe it's something small like your sock drawer. Or maybe it's like, I left all my Toy Story toys on the floor. Maybe I should pick them up. Whatever it is, maybe you could draw me a picture or write me a quick sentence about something that you're going to clean up today. I would love that. You know what I'm going to clean up today? I'm going to clean up my junk drawer. Oh, there's markers and pencils everywhere in the junk drawer. I'm going to clean that up. I hope you have a great day today, enjoying the day inside while it's so chilly and snowy inside. And I'll be thinking about you and wondering what you're cleaning up. Have a wonderful Wednesday, my friends, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.